It was a day in 2019 when a guy named Sam Bankman-Fried made the most important decision of his life. A decision that would ultimately contribute to making him a billionaire by the age of 30, chilling with football star Tom Brady, and finding himself on the front cover of Forbes magazine. What was it? Just a few lines of code in the account system of their freshly founded crypto exchange with the name FTX. Doesn't seem like a big deal, right? It was the infinite money glitch, leading to one of the biggest frauds in history. And it worked. Well, at least for a while.
FTX has been found guilty of fraud and money laundering.
But let's start at the beginning. It all started with the rivalry of two somehow similar, but overall very different characters. Sam Bankman-Fried and Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ. But who's CZ? Changpeng Zhao is a Chinese-born man who spent a childhood growing up in Canada. He is definitely what people would refer to as a self-made millionaire, even though in his case the term self-made billionaire would probably be more fitting. Back then, he did jobs at McDonald's and at a gas station to help support his family, but he eventually managed to earn a degree in computer science. After graduating, he volunteered at the Tokyo Stock Exchange, worked for multiple startups in traditional finance and the blockchain world, and founded a crypto exchange with the name Binance in 2017. In the time frame of 8 months, he grew the crypto exchange to the biggest exchange in the world, which, measured in daily volume and the number of customers, it still is today. Let's take a look at his competitor. SBF was born in March 1992 as a child of two professors at Stanford Law School, and his life was going quite well. After it became clear relatively early that he had an astonishing talent for math, he eventually graduated in physics and mathematics at MIT in 2014. His overall impression? He seems to be more of a left-out person. Nerdy, badly dressed, incredibly intelligent, and very, very misunderstood. Those pictures from a documentary should speak for themselves. At the age of 24, he founded his first trading firm, Alameda Research, a quantitative trading firm that develops specialized algorithms for trading crypto. And after making a ton of money with his trading firm, he eventually opened a crypto trading exchange called FTX. And FTX blew up. It became Binance's biggest competitor. You can imagine where this is going, right? It was a battle of giants. 1 year before the upcoming events, FTX had an annual trading volume of around 719 billion USD, which is already a goddamn lot. But it's absolutely nothing against Binance, as they had a trading volume of 9,580 billion, making it 13 times larger than FTX. However, FTX was catching up, second by second, getting larger and larger every month.
Who needs no introduction, but I'm paid to give them, so I have to. Sam Bankman-Fried is...
In 2022, SBF and FTX are now at the peak of their existence. FTX is spending millions of dollars on commercials, working with celebrities like Tom Brady and Matt Damon, and a stadium in Miami is now called FTX Arena. Everyone wants to work with Sam and his company. He's now one of the richest people on earth.
It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
I don't think so.
The shy, weird guy from MIT made it big. But the fame was not to last long. The story of his downfall begins here.
Verdicts now for Sam Bankman-Fried.
Following the establishment of the company by SBF, certain investors harbored doubts regarding the distinctiveness of Alameda Research and FTX. Upon being confronted, Sam reassured them that FTX and Alameda Research were indeed separate entities, an assertion that later turned out to be false. Sam also had a significant strength that would soon become his most potent weapon. He had numerous high-value connections to politicians and influential people in Washington and New York, and he knew how to use them. Cryptocurrencies are a highly unregulated field, given their novelty, and legislative processes simply grind very slowly. That's why SBF started to work closely with regulators in Washington, slowly gaining more influence on politicians and the press. He knew that Binance was his biggest competitor, and Binance knew that too. Sometime in 2022, a few journalists from Reuters seemed to consistently target Binance, addressing concerns about their money laundering policy and publishing articles with headlines like,
"How crypto giant Binance became a hub for hackers, fraudster and drug traffickers."
It was never confirmed, but it's an obvious assumption that SBF might be behind all this. Changpeng, the CEO of Binance at the time, was aware of that. It seemed to be fine for him until one point, where they attacked his children. Crossing this new line appeared absolutely unacceptable to Changpeng. Following the articles, he issued a statement declaring that he would no longer collaborate with journalists from Reuters, asserting that they had crossed a red line that shouldn't be breached. As mentioned earlier, it was an open secret that SBF was likely involved in this turmoil, escalating tensions between Changpeng and SBF to their peak in October 2022. Now it was time for Changpeng's move. On November 2nd, 2022, CoinDesk leaked a compelling document, the balance sheet of Alameda Research. Until that day, there were speculations that Binance might have sent it to CoinDesk. In any case, Changpeng was surely pleased to read those numbers. The document was highly sensitive as it revealed the challenging liquidity situation for Alameda Research, and suggested a closer connection to FTX than initially assumed. Most of the assets held by Alameda Research were in an illiquid form, making them almost impossible to sell on the open market. To explain it simply, in crypto, when you sell an asset or coin, there needs to be someone willing to buy it. If there's more sell pressure than buying interest, the price drops until buyers step in, allowing the market to find its natural price. In this case, Alameda Research held an enormous amount of FTT tokens, a simple token from the FTX exchange, tied closely to the FTX company. If Alameda Research tried to sell the token on the open market, its value would plummet to a fraction of the original value that's noted on the balance sheet. And FTT wasn't the only illiquid token on the sheet. In fact, it looked so bad that people began selling FTT tokens immediately after the leak. Confronted with this shady balance sheet, it was crystal clear to Changpeng Zhao that something dubious was happening. Here was his chance to make a historic move. He tweeted the following. As part of Binance's exit from FTX equity last year, Binance received roughly 2.1 billion USD equivalent in cash. Due to recent revelations that have come to light, we have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. He also stated that he wouldn't support people lobbying against other industry players, a direct jab at SBF. And so he did. He sold all the FTT on the open market, causing the price of FTT to plummet incredibly fast. People are in panic, as the FTT token is tightly connected to the FTX exchange, and the balance sheet revealed that there is definitely something extremely shady going on between FTX and Alameda Research. People now want their money of the FTX exchange. 6 billion USD is withdrawn from the exchange in just 3 days, which shouldn't be a significant problem for a solvent exchange. However, FTX is different. FTX management is now in panic as this could unveil their biggest secret, a secret they sought to protect at all costs over the last few years. The lines of code implemented in the account system's code granted them superpower, the ability to transfer an unlimited amount of cryptocurrencies or any other asset traded on the exchange to Alameda Research, essentially creating money out of thin air. But where was it coming from? The answer? From customer funds. And that's why they are in massive trouble now. As SBF realizes the situation, he is desperately trying to collect money from investors he knows, even knocking on doors at Elon Musk's office. However, he was unsuccessful. I mean, would you give someone money at this point? I certainly wouldn't. Now, the most epic moment in the history of cryptocurrencies is right around the corner. Changpeng Zhao is offering to buy FTX. What a great situation for him. From selling a few billion FTT tokens to buying your biggest competitor. Binance signed a letter of intent to acquire FTX on November 8th, 2022. A crazy move, unfortunately not aware of the revelations waiting to be uncovered inside the company. Only 1 day later, Binance announced that due to US agency investigations and potentially mishandled customer funds, they would no longer pursue the acquisition of FTX. As no one helps FTX to restore their liquidity, FTX has to file for bankruptcy on November 11th. All customer funds can't be accessed. They gambled with customer money. Shortly after the bankruptcy, Sam Bankman-Fried is arrested in the Bahamas. He is extradited to the USA, where he is charged with 7 different charges. A year later, he is found guilty of all charges, including fraud, and is going to prison for mishandling customer funds. Bankman-Fried's sentencing hearing has been set for March 28th, 2024. I would like to end the story with the following words. Please hold your crypto in self-custody. Nothing is too big to fail.